Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. As I'm tuning in, I hear the pitter patter, rain and hail coming down. But we're here. We trust we're going to have a good connection tonight for you. We got some great content. Welcome, my co host, Mama Mo. How are you?
I am great. I am at the Denver airport right now, coming back from an incredible women's retreat in Montana, and I'm excited to be here. How are
I know,
you?
and I'm glad we could pull this off because I know you got connection, you're traveling, but we obviously you're coming off an amazing, what I would call a reset weekend for many people. So we're eager to hear
Absolutely.
about that tonight.
Oh, absolutely. It was absolutely amazing to see these women transform, have a moment of clarity, be able to reset their lives and to go out back into the world with a new purpose and a new mission within themselves. And it was a beautiful journey.
So I'm eager to hear about that. So thanks for bearing with us with the connection here. We feel like the content is greater than the connection. So we want to make sure you get the content. Welcome tonight. Welcome. I don't know when you're getting this, where you're getting this. We are streaming live on all platforms right now. That means Facebook, YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, all through E360 TV. So we are distributing this content where it's going to be publicly out there for you. If you are in a situation where you're looking for a change, this is for you. Let me share a short video to help us kick this off. And if you know somebody who is actively seeking to make a change in their life and they want to make improvements, this is for them. This is for you. So let's watch this video and then we'll be back because we have a whole panel of experts tonight that are going to be sharing their stories. Incredible people that have walked the walk, and they're going to be given some great insights. I do want to say this before I share that video. Nobody on here tonight that you're going to see has all the answers, and there's no perfect people on this summit. We are simply going to have some conversations, and there's some people who have gone down roads, who have dealt with major issues, some of them health challenges, relationships, things that were insurmountable in the moment. They couldn't find the reset button, blinded, not sure, uncertain. So we are going to hear from them, and I trust that you're going to get something for your journey. So let's listen to this little kickoff video, and then we're going to get right into it. So stay tuned, share, and I am going to be looking for your chats as well. So let me get to the video, and then we'll be right back to kick this off.
A new road awaits you. What would your life reset look like? How would you go from feeling stuck, stagnating, lacking clarity? Maybe you feel like you simply plateaued and you know you need to make a change. What area most requires you to push that reset button? I want to invite you to journey with us over the next 5 days for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. Each day we're going to stream live at 7 p.m. and feature a new topic to help you cultivate that life reset. First, we're going to start with self-care on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to find out what's holding us back, what are the challenges, and dealing with uncertainty. Wednesday, day 3, is going to feature self-rediscovery. What does it mean to get to know yourself again? What's important to you? Day 4, we're going to help you cultivate creativity to get those creative juices flowing again. Day 5, and finally, we're going to help you cultivate a new decision and push that life reset button. Imagine what life could be if you simply take the plunge and join us for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge.
So welcome back, everyone. And I want to let you know, we're going to have a word of the day. This is really important. We're going to announce a word throughout this summit. That word, if you get all 5 words at the end of the week and we book a short call so we can validate that, we are going to gift 5 people a free VIP virtual ticket. A free VIP virtual ticket can be yours. So make sure you stay plugged in. Mama Mo, are you ready to bring on our guests?
Absolutely. We have incredible guests for you guys. I can't wait for you to meet and for them to introduce themselves and to bring what they have, their messages for each and every single one of you.
Yes, and again, thank you
Let's
for
do
bearing
it.
with our connection. So let's
Yes.
let's get in. I'm gonna start with my accountability buddy, Mr. Jim Hetherington, out of, well, I don't know, Thunder Bay, Ontario, somewhere up there in Canada.
Somewhere up
I just
here.
like saying Thunder Bay.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
not quite in Thunder Bay, but close
We
enough.
have a
I'm near
connection
Toronto,
issue.
Ontario, so that's yeah, we're right in
Yeah.
the thick of the winter right now for sure.
Well, Jim, welcome. We definitely going to hear about you in a moment. Thank you for joining us. Let's keep going. I'm going to bring in Linda McBee. So Linda is there. She is. Say hello to Linda. Linda's got an incredible story. We're going to hear about that as well here in a moment. And then we have Denise Ferrer. Denise, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
We're glad that you're here tonight, and we're going to hear from you momentarily. And then we also have Carrie out of Connecticut. So
Yay.
welcome. So we let's do this because I know I did a quick intro. So let's go around and just share your name, your location, and just let everybody know a little bit who you are, so we can just get them to get to know you a little bit as we get into this. So let's go with Jim.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Jim Hetherington, and I'm near Toronto, Ontario, Canada, all the way up here in the Great White North, of course. And I'm an author, speaker, and mentor, and I create unique programs for individuals and partners, my audiences and clients all over the world, to take next level success in all of their relationships in life and business.
Jim, what are you most eager to talk about tonight?
Oh, I love the topic about resetting, but I love the topic about self-care, because I've got a great part of my story that I want to share that's going to hopefully encourage people.
Great. Thanks, Jim. Let's go over to Carrie, simply known as Carrie. No last name, just like,
Carrie. Oh, yeah. I put it up there. Sorry. Carrie from Connecticut. I'm a health and wellness coach for women a little bit older looking to keep energy. And I just help them make simple habit changes and get some energy back.
We're glad you're here. I know you got some great stories to share. We heard a little bit from you. And then next, we're going to go to Denise. Denise, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on the show. My name's Denise Ferrer, and I am from the Jersey Shore, right near Ocean City. Feeling extremely blessed tonight to be here, and I love partnering with people on their wellness journey. So I own a colon hydrotherapy spa. We talk about poop lots. But we all know that if our gut is messed up, our brains are messed up. So it's all about healing, and I'm excited to share my story as well.
Right. So if somebody is navigating a season of unwellness, disease, and you're wanting answers, I trust you're going to get some here tonight. And then over to Linda.
Hi, I'm Linda McBee. I'm a functional medicine coach. I've struggled with my health my whole life, and really the challenge that I've had is swallowing capsules and tablets and finding solutions to help with that, because I had a ton of autoimmune issues. So I, like Denise, we talk about what's the poop look like. So because that is really the down and dirty when autoimmune issues evolve. That's it all starts there in the gut, and affects everything. Affects our well-being, our health, and so I'm excited to be here, and I'm in great company, and it's great to be a part of this organization and these people here tonight.
And we're just getting warmed up. And hey, like, I just love metaphors. So sometimes your life resets about what you're putting in, what you're getting. And oftentimes it's about what you're letting go of, right? Like emotionally, physically, it's like what needs to go. So we're going to hit that. I mean, it's real talk. And, we're happy, we want to laugh tonight, but we also want to hit these serious topics that we know people are going through. I believe we have another person on here that I'll wait to see. Yeah, there he is. So Marlon, are you able to join us? Just give me a thumbs up. Yes. Okay. So Marlon is joining somewhere on the roads. So, hey, Marlon, how are you?
Doing well. I'm actually just came out of my fitness workout, so steaming up the windows here.
Okay. Speaking of self-care, well, that's great. We're glad you're here. We're just giving a quick introduction right now and just let everybody know a little bit about you. And then we're going to get into more as the night goes on.
Yeah, I'm just grew up fourth generation farmer, turned wealth coach, basically out of necessity. So I just, when you think about resets, I think life has multiple resets,
Yes.
and all through our journey. So I'm always resetting, even on my knowledge on wisdom on finances too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad you're here. You always have great insights to share. And I just want to give a shout out to our guests. If you're on, Rich, welcome. I'm glad you're here tonight. You're going to get a lot from this. We have, wow. So I think I know who this person is. We have Panda Kirkpatrick with us tonight. Panda Kirkpatrick. So we don't know who's going to show up and what they're going to share, but we will be watching the comments because you can sit and watch anonymously, whatever's going to work for you. If you feel like you want to get in the chat, get in the chat because there's going to be some great conversations. And if you just joined, there's also going to be a word of the day. We're going to have a word each day. So at the end of the week, there'll be 5 words. If you get all 5 words and you book a call with us, it's just it'll be like a short call. I will gift 5 virtual tickets. And also we'll have some other giveaways too. I'll just give you a little teaser. We'll be talking about this here. This is a wooden journal. It's a special edition. It's custom made. I forget the name of the wood, but it's very earthy and really cool. So what I want to do before we get into it, I just want to give a shout out to Mama Mo. She is traveling, so we're dealing with the connection, but she's going to be helping us. This is a book. This was the first book we did. It was called Your Turnaround Story Starts Here, Flashpoint. And Mama Mo, you weren't in this book, but this story was where it started. And there's lots of stories in here that you can get to. We'll make this book available for you. And then we have this book. This is the book that I wanted to mention, which is Your Health Turnaround Story. So Mama Mo was in this book. She's one of the stories that we featured. And I think she told me she couldn't read the story at first when she put it in there because there's so much into it. And it was the whole connection of mind, body, and spirit. So if you are somebody who is dealing with that health reset, you're going to get a lot. I mean, you're going to get a lot from this no matter what. But I just wanted to set Mama Mo up here, and then we're going to go back around and we're going to hear what's a quick tip. So Mama Mo, let's introduce you here and just a quick share.
Hello, everybody. I hope the background noise isn't too loud. I am at the airport. I am a trauma-informed embodiment coach, specializing in feminine embodiment coaching. And that story that you were talking about was the first time that I shared my story, my health turnaround story, which really started with my cancer journey, which led me to holistic healing, naturopathic medicine, plant medicine. But really at the end of the day, I realized that if I didn't heal the deep wounded traumas from my past, which is what I dive deep into in that story, that I couldn't heal my body, my mind, and my spirit. And so that's where that is. And I'm so excited because there's so much into self-care that is so important to each and every single one of us for that reset. That self-care, it's not always about, bubble baths and doing those sorts of things. Sometimes it's just taking a couple minutes to stop and to breathe and to have that moment, that reset that we need during those states sometimes when we have that confusion, so I love this topic of self-care because I believe that there's so much into it so much more than just painting our nails, getting bubble baths, doing those sorts of things. Self-care goes so much deeper than that.
Well, I'm going to go over to Jim for that because Jim you're a guy that does your nails and bubble bath, right? So
Absolutely. It's part of my daily routine.
Well, no, but you know what? You're right, Mama Mo, and and that's what we want to do. So we're going to cover some of the surface level stuff. You're going to get that, but we're going to go deeper here too throughout the week. We want you. I want you to get to know these folks. I want you to get their insights because we can all learn from each other. And as I said when I opened, nobody on here has all the answers, and nobody on here is perfect, but you're going to get something here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And we're just warming up. So thanks for bearing with us. Tonight is self-care, and we're going to get deeper into that topic. And I have another panel expert who's joining us. And I just want to get a thumbs up to make sure this, yes, okay. So Miss Julie Gandy is,
Hello, everyone.
welcome, Julie. We're just doing a quick introduction now to get into the topic of self-care. I'm glad you made it. I would love
Me
for
too.
everyone to learn a little bit about you.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Hey, it's good to see everyone. Yeah, my name is Julie Gandy Torres, and I've been in the wellness space for over 20 years now, and do a lot of caregiving for my job. I work with hospice patients, and so my team members and I can get very overwhelmed. And we also see a lot of overwhelmed caregivers that are taking care of the patients. So family members that are taking care of mom or siblings. So, I see it every day. And if I could bring something up about overcare, when care doesn't feel good anymore. So when you're caring for someone else, when you're not taking care of yourself, your cup can it can run empty, right? One of my mantras through my whole career has been fill your own cup first and let others drink from the overflow. So when you can feel this this drain when you are caring for someone, it could be a child, it could be a parent, that's kind of when you need to check in and say, I need to start taking care of myself. When you run into there's unrealistic expectations, there's perfectionism, you now have to be the perfect person to take care of anybody else. So it's just, that daily check-in, especially when you're a caregiver, to take care of yourself first and let others drink from the overflow. So
Thank you. And we're eager to get more into your story. And I just want to serve our audience. We got Ivy's on here. Welcome, Ivy. We're glad you're here. We have Marilyn Morales joining, listening in. And again, I just want to point out Panda Kirkpatrick. That's great naming right there. And Denise, she's saying you need a coffee chat. So there you go. But I want you to take notes tonight. I want you to chime in the chat if you want to sit anonymously. We're going to go around and get a quick tip, but what I believe in is just practice it. And this is a little bit of power of pure presence. So I just want to invite everyone, the panel, the guests. I'm just going to sit and just grab a breath because I tell you the truth be told, I've been busy getting ready for this panel, and I'm thinking, well, why not just jump in? Let's just do a breath or two and just dial into the moment and invite the guest. If you're on here as a chat, why don't you just take a moment and just breathe? Because it sounds like overly simplistic, but let's just do it. Okay. So just, if you want to close your eyes, you can, and we're just going to do a few moments here. Just pause. Maybe soften up your face a little bit. Drop your jaw, loosen your jaw. See if you can breathe in through your nose. And then see if you can find your deepest breath today. That breath that goes all the way down. It feels so gratifying. And exhale. And then when you're ready, just come back to this moment feeling refreshed.
Wow.
So how does that fit? Look at, I mean, wow. Just a moment. And I was preparing for this. I've been just, what does it mean to reset? What does it mean to take care of ourselves? And as we kick this off, I want to go around. I just want to share this because we have the moment here. Is that I wrote down that self-care comes from self-awareness, and self-awareness comes from stillness. And so as we kick off, maybe that's what you needed to hear tonight for all of us, just to be able to pause in the midst of whatever's going on. And I think when we do it collectively, it has even more power. We just pause and breathe together. There's something that happens. And Denise was like, wow. So I'll ask her why. So let's go around and get a tip. And Denise, I'm going to start with you because you said, wow. I want to know why you said, wow. And then I'd love to hear this is a quick tip. We're going to dig deep. We're going to get the surface stuff out, and then we're going to go deeper. So Denise, what's your tip? And why did you just say, wow?
So I started my morning in a workout, and the workout starts with 10 very intentional deep breaths so that you can be present in the workout. It's a friend's workout place. And so when you just did that, it just brought me to being here. Like after the day, everything that went on, you know, when I first hopped on, I was like, I was here, but I wasn't fully here. So that breathing just brought me present, and I know how well it works. So I was
I just got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps. So you get goosebumps at least once a day, multiple goosebump day, hopefully, because they're good for you. They're good for your self-care, biochemistry. Yeah. So thank you, Denise. So Jim, quick tip. We'll go quick tip, and then I want to get back into your story.
Sure. Yeah, I think a quick tip is, it may be surprising for people to hear this, but it's okay to say no. Right? It's all right, because it starts there. When you talk about awareness, Austin, so often we're aware of our kids, we're aware of partners, we're aware of friends and neighbors and everyone else around, but we're so unaware of ourselves. And I think it's important that we realize it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. I love that.
Yes.
I'm going to put that at the bottom. It's okay to say no. Thank you, Jim. Linda, quick tip. What do you want to get? Let's give these folks something tonight right away. What's a quick tip for self-care?
Affirmations.
Affirmations. So give us an example.
I'm a winner. It can be as simple as that. If it's a goal you're working on, or I'm calm. It really, there's so many different aspects of affirmations and self-care that you can focus on. And it's really, when you say it out loud, it's even more powerful, because so many times we don't have that confidence that we really need, and that just begins to break through and really help us believe that we can accomplish the things that we are, depending upon, again, where you are mentally and what you're needing to break through. But those simple steps, because you can get really complicated with affirmations, and they can expound and get really deep. But if you're not there, just start with I'm loved. Just really start with some simple things to help you hear, so that you believe, and especially believe in yourself and what you're doing.
Wonderful. Quick tip. We're going to go to Carrie.
A quick tip, I think, is forgiving yourself, because it's we carry this like, I should have, I could have, oh, what if? And at the end of the day, it's that pause and breathe. And I did the best I can. And I forgive myself for the mistakes I maybe made or didn't, the things I didn't address that I should have addressed. Self-forgiveness.
So good. Okay. So if I'm playing along here, we got, it's okay to say no. We got affirmations. We got forgiveness. What else did we get, Denise, yet?
Yeah.
What was yours again, Denise? Because I'm keeping tabs in my head here.
I just was with the wow of breathing.
Wow. Right. Wow. That's right.
In the moment.
Got it. Okay. So if somebody help me with this, we keep track here. So Marlon, what's your quick tip?
I would say the words that you speak, in the sense of Proverbs always talks about the tongue being like a rudder to a ship. You think about how small a rudder is and how it can move a ship. And the words we speak can move our whole life.
Wow. The words we speak can move our whole life. And I would say the words we speak over and over again. How many times are we hypnotizing ourselves with what we're saying and we're not realizing we're doing it, right? And that can affect our self-care. Like, I'll always be this way, or whatever the words are.
Not only our conscious speaking, but it's our subconscious too.
Right. Our subconscious, below the level of conscious. Carrie's listening. She loves the tips. So we're going to keep them going. And we have Rich. He says, I also use breathing techniques when I work out, lift weights, and resistance walking. Perfect. If you're just joining, we're going to be here every day for the next today all the way to Friday with a different topic. Today is self-care. We're also going to have a word of the day. And whoever gets the 5 words and books a call, it's a short call with us, we're going to gift you a free virtual ticket for 5 people. So for 5 people, 5 words this week, travel with us. Make this your journey. Take advantage of this. It will serve you. And at the end of the week, you might just be well on your way to creating that life reset. So Julie, you just went into your quick tip a little bit, but because we're going to go deeper into the stories, but what's you want to echo something on that quickly?
Yeah, actually, from what Marlon was saying, I've been doing a lot of listening lately. I put my AirPods in the morning, and while I'm getting ready, I'm listening to uplifting videos or stuff on YouTube or music, and I just kind of dance around the house or whatever. And then at night while I'm sleeping, do the same thing. And I have, if you go on YouTube, there's like sleep hypnosis and all kinds of different things that you can kind of use your sleep as time to reprogram your brain. So that's what I've been doing a lot, and it really, really helps.
Mm-hmm. I love that too. And these are all little tips. And the question is, which one are you going to take? Which one are you going to use in the comments? So let us know in the comments. We got Duchess DJ Love, who I'm going to be bringing on here in a moment. And what I want to do for those folks that joined a little later, I'm going to show that video again. I may show it a couple times throughout. So when we come back from this video, we're going to go a little deeper into the stories of these people that you see in front of you. Let's learn a little bit more. Let's get a little more context. Why are they here? Why are we here? Why are we talking about life reset? Why are we talking about the self-care piece? And, because it's one thing to talk about it, but to be able to go out there and now we want to, get a message to the world. There's a couple different things there. So let's watch this video and then we'll come back on and we'll get deeper into the stories.
A new road awaits you. What would your life reset look like? How would you go from feeling stuck, stagnating, lacking clarity? Maybe you feel like you simply plateaued and you need to make a change. What area most requires you to push that reset button? I want to invite you to journey with us over the next 5 days for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. Each day we're going to stream live at 7 p.m. and feature a new topic to help you cultivate that life reset. First, we're going to start with self-care on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to find out what's holding us back. What are the challenges and dealing with uncertainty. Wednesday, day 3, is going to feature self-rediscovery. What does it mean to get to know yourself again? What's important to you? Day 4, we're going to help you cultivate creativity to get those creative juices flowing again. Day 5, and finally, we're going to help you cultivate a new decision and push that life reset button. Imagine what life could be if you simply take the plunge and join us for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And we have another guest that's going to join us here, our very own Duchess DJ Love. And well, the reason why she wasn't here for the beginning is I'll let her tell you the rest of the story. Welcome, DJ.
Thank you, Austin. Hello, everyone.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit, and then we're gonna go around and get into the stories deeper. But since you're joining, I think it's appropriate.
Well, as you can tell, I'm just coming out of the tub. I soaked in the bath for 30 minutes, probably way too long, but I haven't felt good all weekend long, and I want to give myself some self-love. So that's what I did. When Austin first met me, my hair was in a mess like this because I had that day gave myself some self-love and skipped the seminar that we were at so I could go play in the pool and just lay out on the, by the pool and just relax and listen to the little waterfall thing and just give me some downtime. So this is what I'm doing today. And whenever I need to reset, recharge, re-energize, I have me a bubble bath, dim the lights, play some of that angel music, as I call it, that high vibration frequency music, and just chill. And then when I get out, I'm relaxed, and I haven't been sleeping well since I hadn't felt good. So tonight, I believe I'm going to sleep well. That lavender is going to really just knock me out, make me very peaceful.
Very good. And DJ is a sponsor of my other show called Power of Pure Presence every Sunday at 10 a.m. And it's all about pausing and taking that break in life and creating that space. So you're free to do whatever you want because you're in, pajamas with hearts on them. You are free to do whatever you want. So if you want to stay on, you can. If you want to bounce out, whatever you want to do. So I'm just glad you're here tonight.
I just want to come and say hello.
Wonderful. So I'm glad you're here. And if you're in the chat so far, you've been watching, have you made a decision already? Have you said, you know what, tonight, tomorrow, whenever, have you decided on something that you're going to do for your self-care? And we're going to get into more tips. I'll share, I did the pause and breathe. Every morning, I make a point to, I always say when I rise, I ground. So the moment I rise, I'm on my knees. And then I take 2 minutes. 2 minutes, I just sit still because I am like ready to go. I'm in go mode. So conditioning the opposite is difficult. When you're a personality that is eager to get to that list, you're eager to get into your day, to condition that pause, it takes effort. It takes us to be the brain to do something different, which can feel like, oh, I can't do that. I got to go do this. But the more you do that, you open up different space. And I believe when I do that, it helps me. It helps me create a better pace of life. So we'll get into that. Let's go into the stories a little bit. I want to hear your stories. We're about 35 minutes in. We have a good hour here, so we can dial into your stories, go back into the tips a little bit more, talk about why the life reset. And if you're listening, please use the chat. And we're also going to talk about some other opportunities that you're going to be take advantage of if you want to take it a step further. I'm just going to do a volunteer here. Who would like to share their story a little bit deeper? There's somebody that's been wanting to share their story here.
Ooh, I'm happy to share if nobody else wants to jump in.
Yeah, Jim. So I would love, Jim, I know you have one that you talked about. And again, I want to, if you just real quick, if you know somebody that is looking to make a change, just share it. Send it through Messenger, grab the YouTube link, text it to them, because we'd love to get them engaged while we're live. So Jim, I know you talked about a story that is apparently going to shock people because they're not when they look at you, you're like a picture of health. I mean, your energy's high, you're healthy, you're a runner, your hands are busy. You know, it must be tough at 40, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Just turned 42. No, I'm kidding. I'm 62. I ran my first marathon at 60. So, I mean, that's, everything, they say you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Well, they're wrong. You can. It's, but it certainly wasn't like that a number of years ago. I sat in my car one Wednesday night ready to go to yet another meeting. And 20 minutes after sitting in my car, my heart was racing. My mind was racing because I could not pull my car in gear. And 15 years ago, it was the highlight of my business. I was running a business renovation construction company, putting in 60, 70 hours a week easily. I had a large crew. We had contracts lined up for a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, we were building homes. We were doing stuff all over the place. And as well, in my spare time, I was a pastor. And so I was pastoring, 20 to 24 hours a week. And after sitting in my car for 20 minutes, my body just said, we're not doing this anymore. Like, it was nothing for me to go 24, 32 hours without sleep. If I had to get a job done, if I had to complete something, I just got it done. And I would stay up and I would not sleep until that thing was done. And it was nothing for me to go either with zero sleep or just a couple hours sleep.
Wow.
And prior to this, sitting in my car, I was known as the ever ready bunny. Right, we're all familiar with those commercials, right? The thing just keeps going and going and going, and that's how people referred to me. And then all of a sudden, in an instant, it stopped. And after I shut off my car, I went inside. I made a phone call telling people I wouldn't be there at that meeting. And for the next 2 years, I struggled to get my health back on track. My company went down to zero. All my employees left. All the contracts were gone. I had to step out of leadership. I had to step back. There was nothing I could do. I grunted and groaned for the next 6 months. My wife would ask me how I'm doing. Fine. I had nothing. I had nothing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And here I am. I'm a leader. I'm a pastor. I'm doing all this stuff. And I absolutely flatlined. And it was in that moment that I reset. That's why you and I talk about this often. It's because that was the reset for me. It was like I had to turn everything upside down. Because I said at the beginning of the show, it's important that we learn that no is okay. Because as a leader, as a business owner, I was used to just saying yes. If a problem arose, I just figured out a way to get it done. If there was somebody came to me and they had some trouble, I found a way to help them. And so no was not in my vocabulary. And so I realized then that I had to flip that upside down. And for the past 15 years, I have put myself first every day. I have a 2-hour routine, and I just go through that every day for 2 hours. But I had to turn it upside down and learn how to say no, because it was just one of those self-preservation things that I had to become more aware of myself. And that's why I said earlier, it's so easy for us to look outside of ourselves. Everybody else's stuff is really important. And we want to give and serve and help and, be that nice person. We want to do that for everybody. We want to be there for everybody. But few of us take the time to learn how to be there for ourselves. And that was the biggest shift for me, was when I turned everything upside down and was there for myself, because I realized, if I'm not looking after me, nobody else is. Right? Everybody else is quite happy. If anybody noticed that, right? Everybody else is happy. If you say yes, they're thrilled, right? If they give you something and you say, sure, I'll take that on, they're happy. They're not going to say, oh no, Denise, you shouldn't take that. You're doing far too much, right? Nobody's going to say that. They're happy to give you more. So you and I, as individuals, we need to learn how to say no.
Say no.
We need to know our limits. We need to know those boundaries. And I think it really comes down to, just defining what success is for us, right? For me, I didn't know. My company was growing. I just kept on taking on new contractors and new employees, and we just kept taking on. I had no boundaries in terms of what I thought success was. And so I just kept taking it on. It was the same in leadership. I just kept taking on more and more responsibilities and doing more and more things. I was speaking all over the place, traveling all over the place, and I just kept taking it on. But we have to get to the point where we realize, we're not Superman, we're not Wonder Woman. We have to realize that there are limits, and the limits start by taking care of ourselves.
And that's reason why you said it's okay to say no. And I think there's people that need to hear that, because especially if we have a job, we're used to, we want to get ahead. We want to get ahead, and getting ahead is we say yes, 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 yes. And in your case, you found yourself in a car. You couldn't get the car in gear. Your heart was racing, and your health was in jeopardy. It was thank God that you were able to turn it around because.
And you want to know the funny thing, Austin? While I was sitting there, my heart's racing, my mind is racing. Guess what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the people I was going to see with that meeting. I was thinking about my employees tomorrow morning. I was thinking about the contracts I wasn't able to fulfill. That was all that was going. I wasn't thinking, am I having a heart attack? Am I dying? I had none of those thoughts. All I was thinking about was everybody else and what I can do. And how often is that our stories, right? When we're so concerned about other people, we don't concern ourselves.
Right. I mean, this is really hit. I mean, Rich is just saying it's hitting home. So we know it's going to hit home. Are you saying yes too much? So if you're in the chat, are you saying yes too much? What can you say no to? So Jim, before we move on, was there one thing that you did that you recall in this process that you remember that made a difference in your initial? Was it just to stop and say no? Like what was?
Well, after the shock, and after realizing that I couldn't fight my way, because we all have bad days. We think I'll do like Duchess. I'll just go have a bubble bath, put on my heart pajamas, and I'll feel perfect in the morning, right? And that's what I thought would happen. I couldn't find my heart pajamas. I did take a shower, but I didn't feel any better in the morning. It was terrible, and I thought, okay, I'm not sleeping my way out of this. I know that I just knew that this was going to be one of those journeys that was going to take a while. And it was just, I started to get away more. I just remember going away for a couple of weeks, and it was just in the quiet. It was in the silence and the stillness that I started to feel restored. I really felt that God speaking to my heart once again and breathing some new life into me. And it was there that I realized that I needed to look after myself, because the truth was, I was so busy through the day. I had zero energy at the end of the day to eat well, to exercise. I was tired, but I was thinking about all the things I had to do the next day. So I was up late, and it was just bonkers. And so it was realizing, what, I need to start looking after me first. And I think that was the beginning of that reset, that newness for me, was just realizing, what, I'm going to start my morning routine just with praying, with reading, with meditating, with exercise, with eating well, and getting myself set up for the day. And that's what I do every day. I've got a 2-hour routine that I do every day now. And that was the start of the beginning for me, realizing that, like the airlines, flight attendants tell us, put your mask on first. If something happens, don't try to run around the fuselage, try to take care of everybody else, because you're going to get thrown off the ceiling and trampled underneath, and you're just not going to be any good to anybody. And so that's what I realized, and that was the turning point for me.
Thanks for sharing that, Jim. We appreciate that. I know it's going to hit home for folks. And we're going to go on to some other stories here as we move through.
I would like to.
Yeah, I was thinking about you, Linda. So why don't you share, because you seem like something provoked you here.
Well, it's interesting when Jim was talking about that, because I was just having this conversation with someone the other day. So I experienced a lot of trauma in my life, and how I handled that was I became over busy. And I thought I had to do all this stuff. But what was really happening inside is I wasn't processing through the pain and really giving myself a chance to grieve. I lost my mom when I was 5. So that was very traumatic, but I was happy on the outside, hurting on the inside. And I thought just getting involved in church and activities and this and that, and then business and working, that I didn't step back to not just say no to everyone else, but begin to give myself love and care, and saying no to all these other activities as well. But then beginning to take that onion apart and allowing that to work through and get the help and the care that I needed. and all of those outside, because, 45 years ago, 55 years ago, you didn't go for, when things like that would happen, you didn't go for therapy. There weren't the resources that are here today. So it was really, that's where all of my really diving into helping people with their health came into play. But I buried all of those emotions and created massive health issues for myself. It's that trauma that is what triggers. But if we're not willing to work through the pain, I wasn't willing to work through the pain years ago. And I did some, but of course, every time you do that, it's so painful. It's like we're just afraid to let go, and we're afraid that, because all the unknowns and, everything. So as I was hearing you talk, I was like, wow, that resonates with the conversation I was just having, because we can do this and that, but are we doing it for the right motives? Is God allowing us to minister to others because we've worked through the things that we've needed to? Or are we doing that for busy work to not really talk about the pain? And that's another whole level.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Julie on this one, because I think Julie will have a lot to share. She's got a background in hospice. She's been working in inner peace, so she's very versed on this. And we'll get back to you, Linda, in your story. But I just feel just Julie's got such a lot in this area. So I thought maybe Julie would have. You think when you're hearing Linda speak, Julie, what was coming up for you?
Yeah, I mean, Linda, you're absolutely right. You have to. I call it the princess and the pea. Like, we have these events that happen to us when we're children and when we're young, or even as adults, but we try to cover it over with mattresses, right? Just like the princess and the pea, but the pea is still in there, right? And as try as we might to, I got this, I'm good, it's still there. And there's a book called, I think it's Truman is her last name, but the title of the book is really, you don't even need to read the book, because the title's is so poignant. But it says, "Feelings buried alive never die."
Oh,
And
right.
so it's, just covering all this up doesn't work, and you really have to, like Carrie said, to find forgiveness, or kind of excavate things, go in and that's what I do. I try to go figure out what it is and then get it out of my system, because we're more than our physical bodies, right? We're physical, we're emotional, we're spiritual, we're mental, all these different things, all these different levels. So, I would get people on my massage table, right? And they would just chat, like talk really fast, and then get up and get off the table and go do things, or or they would fall asleep. They weren't able to just kind of feel the relaxation. They just checked out. So, knowing how to relax, how to mentally sit down. We can physically sit down, but can you mentally sit down at the same time? And just be present, whether it's watching a movie or whether it's meditating or, listening to some music, so just being present. And one of the things I say to myself when I feel myself getting extra busy, Linda, like you're talking about, is like, I would just, in this moment of busyness, I can breathe, and because usually when we get so busy, we're not breathing, and the breathing will help calm the nervous system. It will help just reset ourselves. And that's where it all starts. The self-care starts with just the breath, like you did, Austin, at the beginning. It really is that simple, and it's so easily to forget. So it's just,
Yeah.
again, being aware. And Jim, no is a complete sentence, no. You don't have to explain yourself. Yeah.
So Julie, Julie's actually one of the sponsors of Power of Pure Presence, and we did an episode on this, and just Julie walked us through a beautiful breath exercise, just to what we're talking about, just to make these things a practice in our lives, to condition ourselves in a different way, where we're not always saying yes, where we're able to take time to process things. So I just want to I want to make sure people get your story. And I really appreciate the shares. I really love that you're diving in. But I also want to think of our audience. They want to know, maybe want to know a little bit more about you as you're sharing these things. So, Linda, why don't we just finish up with what you were saying? And if you want to share a little bit more about your story, and if we could just keep it to like a couple minutes, because I want to start cycling through everyone else too.
I ended up with about a dozen autoimmune issues, allergic to everything. So finally finding what blood type I am, so I know what foods that work well for my body, as well as what foods I'm sensitive to, and then found some products that worked well, that began to repair the cells on a cellular level. That's what really changed my life. But it was a process to get there, but because I ended up with neurological Lyme disease. But and that was just a snowball of the autoimmune issues, just not really finding the nutrition supplement wise that would get to the core to begin to repair the deficiencies. But so I've been through it all and help a lot of people, and with their health and mindset as well, and seeing what trauma might have come from their childhood. So as a functional medicine coach, we look at all of that from your childhood, because I'm also a mental health therapist. So just really incorporating all of that together and getting you on a path health-wise, so that whatever passion you have work-wise, that you have the energy and keep your vision and your why in front of you to work through that.
Thank you. Let's go to Carrie. She's been down there in the corner. I see her with the red on tonight, looking radiant. So, Carrie, let's learn. I know your story. You shared the other last week. You were on. We had a little lunchtime version of this, and Carrie talked about this, and it was amazing to me. Would love to hear your story. I know it's going to hit some folks out there tonight.
Well, I've been in health and wellness for 30 years in some capacity or another. And years ago, I thought I was healthy. I mean, I was working out. I thought I was eating right, but I had asthma. I would get bronchitis every year. I'd be really sick, get the flu sometimes. I just wasn't healthy. I thought I was, but I wasn't. And then 11 years ago, it'll be 11 years ago in May, I just was so fed up with how I was feeling that I just started changing things up, and I eliminated some things from my diet, and now I have no asthma. I have no need for inhalers or breathing treatments. Haven't had a flu shot or bronchitis or anything in 11 years. And when COVID came around, I was really worried about that. I was really worried. And Dr. Grant, some people know him, he was like, do not get the shot. I will work with you. We'll work with your immunity. And I didn't get the shot. And actually, I just saw a doctor recently who wouldn't see me as a new patient because it's cold and flu season and I didn't have a COVID shot and I wasn't going to get one. But anyway, and yeah, so when COVID came, I was worried about it. I ordered a nebulizer. I was going to get the drugs off a Canadian pharmacy, and I never did. And then this past summer, I got COVID, and I know it's a different strain, but I didn't even know that I had it. And I think if I didn't take care of my health, I would have been really sick. So I'm grateful. And you can change your health just by changing what you put in your body. all the way around.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful. I guess what I was thinking about is how many times like people are walking around like with a lot of toxins in their body, emotional challenges that you just talked about, and then they get exposed to something, right? Versus having a body that is as healthy as you can make it and continually working on that. And then working on our emotional health. And I was just thinking, and we'll keep the conversation going, but what if we could measure like all the health traumas that are from trapped emotions or undealt with things? Just wow. So, Carrie, what you shared in terms of, and I just want to point this out. You were a smoker, right? Years ago? Like how long ago?
I started smoking when I was a teenager. It was the 70s, and it was cigarettes and weed and, all that good stuff. And I smoked into my early 30s. I quit smoking. I was trying to quit. And then I got the flu. I was never one of those people that got up in the morning and had a cigarette. I had to have something to eat and drink and go about my day. And then, mid-morning I'd have a cigarette. So I was trying to stop smoking. And then I got the flu, oddly enough. And I spent one day in bed, and that was like the beginning. I was like, oh, I didn't have a cigarette all day yesterday. And that was like, I think like about a year later, I got pregnant. And I think if I hadn't quit smoking when I got pregnant, the pregnancy would have been rougher.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that, Carrie. You're an incredible testimony, and I just want to encourage you to do those live videos. Oh, and I'll get into this later, but Carrie's going to be joining us at Flashpoint at the end of the month, and we got some sponsors on here. I'll be mentioning that. But thanks for sharing your story. Let's go. I'm going to go to Denise, because I know, Denise, I know there's probably a lot of stories you could share, but whatever one's coming through. And I love the fact that you own, Internal Harmony, which is focusing on colonics, which is a big, I think, important. And yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you. And you guys, I just want you to know all of your stories so far. I'm sitting here going, oh boy, I don't know how much I'm going to be giving as much as I'm going to actually be receiving, because everything that you've shared so far is hitting home. So first, I'm just trying to keep it all together. We'll go there first. Internal Harmony. Yeah. If someone had told me 6-7 years ago that I would own a colon hydrotherapy spa, I would have been just like, what is that? I wouldn't even have had any idea. So my journey was I was a powerhouse kid, really didn't like school, always knew that I would be a business owner, and just was like, I can do anything I want to do. Like, you can make money doing anything. Like, why do I have to paint my nails a certain color or wear a certain outfit? Like, I'm just going to go do what I want to do. And I didn't know what that was at the time, but I wound up getting out of corporate and going to work for a family-owned promotional business. And that was at the age of 27. At 29, I started my own promotion and marketing company. And at 40, I was like, I've arrived. Like, this is it. Life will always be easy from this point out. And, God was listening, and he laughed a lot. And he brought a whole new meaning to humility. And I wound up having a second child at 40. Wasn't really supposed to be able to have any kids. So wound up having a second child at 40. Wow. He was born on my birthday, one of the greatest gifts I could ever imagine. Wow. And at 44, I got really sick. And, I always knew that I could make money doing anything. I didn't know that I would have to lose everything to get the relationship that I have now with God. And when we talk about what we do in the morning, my morning starts every morning in my prayer closet, quiet from everything. And it's just about my relationship with him. Because when you go from thinking you've arrived to losing what you think is everything, but actually you're gaining everything, but you don't know that at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So at 44, I started this journey of being sick and really wasn't diagnosable. Just so many doctors, so many things. And 9 years later, I had someone come into my life. Married man, Christian, loves Jesus, loves his family, 4 boys, no time in the world, but he owned Internal Harmony. And he said, I know what you're going through, and I think I can help you. And I was like, I'll do whatever you say. Just him and his wife.
You can call him out, by the way, if you want. I know who he is.
Charlie Costello.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah. So anyway, just to make a very long story short, he gave me hope. And it first started with healing my body, but then he's like, your mind's been through a lot. So we got to work with the mind, and then your finances, man, they were hit hard, like I never thought I'd have to worry or never think about it again. And, when I met with him, he was like, this is 6 years ago. He's like, how much money do you have? And I'm like, I have $200 to my name. So there was a lot going on. And, but what I want to tell the audience or just anybody that's on here tonight is start today. Like doing one thing that is good for you. Jim, you said to say no. Julie, you said no is a full sentence, right? Carrie, your story of everything that you went through. And it's like this piece, like it doesn't matter what age we are, because there's people out there today that are 20 that are struggling ridiculously.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we're 20, 80, just start today and keep it really simple, and also know that we're not alone. I didn't know that by hearing you guys that I would receive what I received from getting on this call tonight. So I just want to say thank you for all of you being here and sharing your stories and your experience.
Yeah. Thank you, Denise. If you're in the chat, show some love. Wow, just a powerful share. Lots there, really lot. We can feel your heart. We can feel your heart and your story. And I'm just glad you're going to help a lot of people. I don't even think you haven't scratched the surface yet. Really. So I'm glad you're on this platform, because now you're going to start to see how many people you can touch. Really. So, wow. Okay. So we're going to keep with the stories, and then I'm going to show that video again, because I'm going to get some water in here in a moment, because I want to make sure I'm getting hydrated. So let's keep going. We want to hear from Marlon and Julie. So Marlon is focused right now. He looks really focused. So I'm gonna go to Marlon, I think, and then we'll go to Julie after that. So Marlon, just a little bit about your reset story is, I don't know, are you going to go finances here? I mean,
well, I guess I feel really blessed because I've never had a health story. I grew up on a farm. We raised everything organically. We ate healthy, had a good family life. So I never really got worrying about stuff because my mother and grandmother were worriers. So as a kid, I'm like, well, what do I need to worry about? So I never learned to worry. So I just, just had a really healthy life. So, and like Jim, I always say, 60 is the new 40s. So I still feel like I'm 35, 40 years old, still doing what I did back then.
Wow.
No issues.
That farm life, good for you.
Well, I haven't really been that for quite a while. But
well, you grew up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was called Farmer Strong, so.
Farmer Strong. But you had a financial reset, Marlon. You know that story?
Yeah, so for mine, it was really involved in farming. And just like a lot of businesses, you have your ups and downs. And a lot of times there's no control. Just like housing in 2006, 7, and 8, there were so many people today, their story resetted in that time period because they were doing something that seemed very profitable, but all of a sudden government rules change, Fed's interest rates change, whatever it is, banking rules change, and it's out of your control. And that's what happened to us. And there's been a couple times I've had banks kind of just screw you over. So I'm not a real fan of banks. I'll use them, but I don't like them. And so my whole reset was just, I got to study finances. So I've done that for the last 35 years. And it's interesting because my generation have listened to the wrong information. And so many of them are getting to that point where they want to retire, which I personally don't believe in retirement. And so they want to retire, and I'm like, and do what? You know, to me, I'm looking at a reset of what am I going to do next? And I know I can't do things physically when I'm 75, 80 like I can at 62 or 3. So I'm getting into, just teaching people about finances because I can talk even when I'm 80 and be a benefit to others. So, in fact, there was a pastor that came to talk, and he said his most productive years were between 65 and 80. So I figure I'm still good to go.
Yes, I agree. And that's one of the reasons why I'm writing that book, Midlife Oasis, because to get more light on the fact that there's a lot that we can do. It's not over. It's a reset. That's what it is. And for one of the reasons why we're doing this, we're talking about self-care tonight, but we live a certain way. And Marlon, you were blessed to have the upbringing that you had, but many of us may not have had that. So we've run ourselves into the ground, or we've hit some kind of a trauma or a stressor. And like the deeper you study, you realize nobody wants to go through that, but in everything you study, like that's the opening. That's where it all happens, through this pain that we go through. And, one of in my book, I wrote about this in Flashpoint, where it's understanding that it all has a purpose. It's us that needs to understand what it is. And then if you're spiritual, you lean into your spirituality to make sense of it. So,
well, it's like I always talk about the 4 F's, it's faith, family, fitness, and finances. I mean, you get all those areas in order, life is good. And even like, a lot of people here know Joe T. Well, he's my fitness coach. And, he's always telling us you're getting younger and younger, as you work out. And I really believe that. And so it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, you can have physical issues, you can have mental issues, you can have financial issues. You can turn around. It may take some effort, but you can become a better person, healthier, wealthier, socially better. And, this whole thought process of, hey, I'm just going to work so long and then I'm going to just enjoy the rest of my life. I think that's silliness. There's nothing in the Bible that says you hit a certain age and you just get to sit on a beach. Even Paul said, he ran the race until the end. We all have a race to run. We all have a purpose. I think that's the thing is, what is your purpose? Like Jim works with, married couples and stuff like that. And a lot of people here, with health, find your purpose and fulfill that purpose till you can't.
Excellent.
Love it.
Excellent. We're 10 after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. We have, we want to probably go somewhere around 8:30 plus or minus. If we get some chat, we'll see how the folks are feeling. I want to hear Julie's story here. Although I know Julie's story because Julie, you were in the first book.
I was in, that Flashpoint.
The turnaround story starts here. And
Yeah.
you're here with us.
Yeah. So, yes, self-care did not come easy for me. I was one very anxious, very angry child. I was kind of mad at the world because the world, this was early 1970s, and the world wasn't the way I thought it should be, and then, so I remember I wrote a letter to then President Carter about the the killing of the harp seals, you know, and like, why is this happening? So I've always been very aware of not, you know, of everything else, but, you know, like what's going on with me, and how can I help myself, right? Get into, like I said at the beginning, like fill my own cup first and let others drink from the overflow. So that's been my you know, since I started my journey in my late 20s, both spiritual and my wellness journey has been looking at all those different areas of my life to find out how I can find inner peace, right? How I can find peace on my physical level or my mental level, my emotional level, spiritual level, and all that, you know, going outwards into the world. But you know, it really hit home for me when I was going through, I call my years of trouble. I was getting a divorce, and my daughter was about 3 or 4. No, I'm sorry, she's a little bit older, but I kind of sat with this: do I get a divorce? Because, you know, I wasn't. It was a very difficult relationship for me. So, kind of going through that, and then I had my aunt was diagnosed with glioblastoma in April of 2014, and she was like my second mom. You know, she was someone who I relied on to help me. She was my first ever massage client. I was still in school, and she got the student family discount rate, you know. But it was like, you know, so every week I would go over to her house. I would bring my massage table, and we would, you know, have a whole afternoon. I would, you know, we'd have dinner, we'd make dinner, and, you know, eat dinner, watch Star Trek. Like, it was like a ritual, it became a ritual. So there, you know, she died, then my uncle died a few, like 4 months later, and then my father died like 4 months later after that. So it was like this whole, not even a year, and 3 people in my life, just, you know, my foundational people. Um, and then all that time I was getting a divorce, right? And then I'm also trying to build my wellness business. You know, like, how, okay, I'm great, everything's fine, let me help you, and you know, everything's falling apart. But then in 2018, so it was a few years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that was like, okay, this is now real, right? And, you know, I was in a good relationship by this time, and had a really good support system with my family, and using all of the stuff that I learned over the years, you know, and they had gotten me that far, but this new cancer thing was a lot bigger. So that's when I realized that I needed to bring in help. I needed to bring in my community. I need to bring in like more spirituality. And so it was just really taking care of myself. And, you know, I remember growing up, my grandmother was always very much at the point where it's like, oh, I did a good job. I worked hard today, so I can sleep good tonight. Right. So she worked herself to the bone every day so that she could sleep well. Right. And she instilled that in all of us. But during this cancer journey, I was like, you know what? No, I'm not, I need to rest. I need my body to heal at the cellular level, you know? So it was a wake up call, even more so, to just take care of me on all those different levels. And from there, you know, everything's good, health wise. And so now it's keeping that momentum, because I don't want it again. So I'm doing everything I can to help on all those different levels, take care of myself, and set up those boundaries, right, Jim? We have to set up those boundaries, say this is family time, this is my time, this is my work time, you know. So just have those really solid boundaries that will help in the future, because everything's cumulative, whether it's good or bad. So,
Yeah.
you know, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And it drains the body, and your immune system drops, everything drops down. So it's being mindful now to get good sleep, get good rest, and work and play. Always, you got to play. You got to find ways to play. So,
Yes, and I think what you went through really brings self-care home. So it's not like, hey, let's try self-care.
yeah,
It becomes a way of life, because the way of life that you had before led you to a spot, right? There's a recipe for everything. Now, self-care becomes a way of life for you, right?
absolutely.
So what an incredible journey to be able to heal and be here to share. So I know there's probably some things on your mind. Let's see. I'm going to share that video again. We shared the word for those of you that are following along. And I love this quote here: fill your own cup and let others drink from the overflow. I think that's one worth taking with you, because that's very visual. It's very visual. And Jim said earlier, it's okay to say no. And I know we've had some other great shares. And where is that? The word of the day. Oops, I guess I'll find it, but it's replenish. The word is replenish. So if you're following along, that's the word. All right, when we come back, what are we doing? We're going to talk about, we covered a lot already. We covered a lot of these things already. Let's really drive it home for the listener. What do you want them to walk away with tonight? What do you want? You heard everything tonight. You had lots of shares. We've had lots of shares here tonight. And stories, heart-touching stories. But there could be somebody on here who's watching this for the first time. And sometimes it's hard to, it's easy to go, well, that's good for that person. They did that, or they had that, or Marlon lived on a farm, or they had support. But I really want to make it real for the person listening, wherever they find this tonight. Actually, I have something here that I'll share. I know I have it here. I just had it. Yeah. So when we come back, I'll share this little thing here that I just came across today. So I'm going to make an attempt. So Jim, I'm going to put you in charge. If I'm going to go get some water, I'm going to play the video here. So watch the video again, and then I'm just going to get some water. If you want to get some, am I saying that right? Do I got an accent right? Water.
No.
Water.
Depends on where you're from. Water, and then if you want to get some water, and when we come back, we'll make it. We want to make it real for the listener, and then I have a share. We'll set up the rest of the week. We'll talk about the exciting things that are going on. And again, if you're in the chat, feel free to share if something you're really going to walk away with something. So here's the video, and we'll be right back.
A new road awaits you. What would your life reset look like? How would you go from feeling stuck, stagnating, lacking clarity? Maybe you feel like you simply plateaued and you know you need to make a change. What area most requires you to push that reset button? I want to invite you to journey with us over the next 5 days for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. Each day we're going to stream live at 7 p.m. and feature a new topic to help you cultivate that life reset. First, we're going to start with self-care on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to find out what's holding us back. What are the challenges in dealing with uncertainty? Wednesday, day 3, is going to feature self-rediscovery. What does it mean to get to know yourself again? What's important to you? Day 4, we're going to help you cultivate creativity to get those creative juices flowing again. Day 5, and finally, we're going to help you cultivate a new decision and push that life reset button. Imagine what life could be if you simply take the plunge and join us for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge.
Welcome back. Everybody get their water?
I got my water.
Water?
Water.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Let's go. Oh, let me grab a share here. We got a share came in from Rich. Rich is watching. He says, as a listener, the greatest thing to take away is the speakers on the panel have had similar situations and rose above them that give the listener motivation. That should give the listener motivation. And then it definitely does for me. So that's great. Thanks, Rich. We appreciate that. Let's go around and make this real for the listener. Like, what do you want that listener when it comes to self-care? And this is just based on what came through for you as you listened. It's not maybe it's something that you had pre-planned, but maybe it's something that is coming through for you now that you want the listener to take with them. What should they do? That's that person I talked to you about. Maybe they're thinking they're really far away. So Jim, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. I would say, you know what? Start with one thing tomorrow. If you could do nothing but one thing tomorrow morning, what would it be? And if you get up tomorrow and you say, I can't do this and I can't find a solution, you're absolutely right. And until you stop saying I can't, you'll never find a solution. So find one thing that you can do tomorrow to start implementing self-care. And then after you implement it for one day, look at something you can do weekly to implement self-care. And then once you've got that, go monthly. Find a way to get away for a weekend. And then yearly, you can start to extend. But it all starts with one thing, one day, and eliminate I can't because you can.
Thank you, Jim. And we're remembering your story about sitting in the car with your heart racing and you couldn't put the car in gear. And you took a reset, took you 2 years to get back, and look at you now. And you just did your first marathon. What was the age, 60 or 62?
Yeah, 3 years ago at 60, I ran my first one.
First marathon at 62.
Yeah.
Great share. Linda.
Love yourself to make the changes to be your best you.
Love yourself to make the changes to be your best you, in that order. Thank you, Linda. Denise.
Go to bed with 3 things that you're grateful for. Into your mind everything else. It doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow. Just go to bed with gratitude. There's a good chance you're going to wake up in the morning feeling better.
I really love that because we always talk about gratitude in the morning, but I love the fact that you're saying gratitude before you go to bed. 3 things that you're grateful for. Very good. And again, connecting this to self-care. Let's just connect it to self-care for the listener.
So for me, I just always, before I go to bed, I just say to God that I'm open to the miracles that He has to, just display in my life, however He wants that to be, whatever that looks like for Him.
Love it, Denise. Love it. Okay, Carrie. Oh, let's unmute you. I got you.
Okay, sorry. I was saying Jim stole my answer, except I was going to say start tonight with one thing, whatever it is that you can do. And like Jim says, okay, then it's one day. Well, you can do anything for one day. And then one day turns into another day. So it's just really start with a breath, start with I am grateful. There's a good affirmation. I am grateful. I am grateful that I'm going to bed tonight. I'm grateful that I'm getting up today. So just start with one thing.
Basic, simple, right?
Basic. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I'm going to actually add to that. And Michelle, you are not on the playback. You are live. So welcome. You're catching the very end. We're glad you're here. Okay, Marlon.
I would say just make that decision. It's like everyone's saying start, begin, whatever. It's really a decision. It's like I made the decision to work out at the gym with Joe. I don't decide every day. I decided once. I just every day I go, which part of the day am I going? I don't decide am I going or not. I am going. And I think that's where a lot of people fail is because they make a decision today, well, I'm going to lose weight. And then tomorrow, oh, I screwed up and they got to start all over again. No, you just make that decision.
Yeah.
And just start.
I love it. That's just not if, it's you, in your case, it's when. When am I going? And think about that question. When am I going? It's not if I'm going, it's when am I going? So great. Julie.
So one quick tip that's helped me is like when I start to feel overwhelmed, I just take a minute, stop, and do 5 breaths. Just doesn't have to be long. It's just like 5 intentional breaths, and then it just to stop the feeling like you're a hamster on a wheel, and it can again slow down your nervous system just enough that you can feel better on the inside. So sometimes even as caregivers for other people, it can feel daunting to be that in that state when you don't. I mean, I've had caregivers that for our hospice families that pass out because they're so stressed and so drained, and so don't go there. You got to do little things to help. Again, it's a cumulative effect, and
Yes.
good or bad, and you just have to do little bits at a time to help keep your body healthy and strong, through any kind of challenging time.
Right on. And we talked about it on the other calls that we've done. We've worked with Dr. George Grant, who I know has worked with Linda recently, and we talk about the breath. When you are breathing, like Julie said, with the 5 deep breaths, you're actually you're taking yourself out of stress response. You're taking yourself from sympathetic mode, which is fight, flight, fright, as Dr. Grant would say, and you're moving into parasympathetic mode, rest, refresh, digest. And I often wonder, like, we live in I'm actually reading a book right now called Breathe by James Nestor. And he talks about how our physical anatomy has changed because we are, as a species, we're not good breathers because we overthink. And actually, and I didn't plan this, but this is what I pulled up. I was doing some reset in my physical environment here, because one of the questions I want to pose as we set up the rest of the week: what area are you neglecting? What area is in neglect? And that's the one you need to kind of go into. But this is a book I have. It's called The Secret World of the Brain. And it talks about one of them is the stressed brain. And it talks about how, of course, there's good stress and bad stress, as we know. But there's this chart here. I don't know if I can put it up here, but I'll explain it if you can see it. It has to do with the stressors. And if you look, simple task versus difficult task, and then there's a sliding scale. And rather than me try to visually show it, I'll just explain it. It's the higher on the one side is strong, and then the bottom one is high. So if you have a strong performance with a high drive, that's where you want to get. And it says a simple task, focused attention, flashbulb memory, fear conditioning. So it's conditioning the fear. It's keeping it simple. You increase your drive and your performance. But when it's a difficult task, like when we try to do too much, it's impairment of divided attention, working memory, decision making, and multitasking. So all those things I just mentioned create it's a low arousal and low performance. So everything kind of drops, and then there's the biochemistry behind it. So all these things like we're talking about, it all adds up, and it all goes back to being, and I might write about this in the book. It all goes back to being able to pause and condition ourselves to do it. Because with self-care, it's like, where are we living? Where do we live in our bodies every day? Where's our face? Where's our heart? Where's our breath? And when I go this journey, it's like, where am I? Am I up here? Am I racing, or am I able to connect heart, head, breathe deeper, and then, move forward from that place? So this was all really, really valuable. I'm really excited to continue this journey with everybody this week. Who is coming back tomorrow? So tomorrow we're going to be talking about uncertainty and challenges. So we're going to hit some of this stuff tomorrow, where this is like the fear, the uncomfortable. When we look at our life situation and we go, oh, no, dude, I just don't. I need to do this because of this. I can't because of that. I get your situation, but my situation is I need to, whatever that is. So tomorrow we're going to hit that. We're going to hit the uncertainty and the challenges. We're probably going to have some new guests come on, and this will pick up steam throughout the week. So I invite you to share it. We want you to be a part of the chat. But before we transition out of here, who's coming back tomorrow for the uncertainty part? We got Jim, Denise, Carrie. Are you raising your hand? Carrie, I know Marlon, you're not able to. Julie, you are too. So we're gonna have Linda. So we got most of them coming back. I think everybody except Marlon. So we'll be back tomorrow night, and take one of these things tonight and implement it, and you can check back in with us on the chat and see what works. If you missed the beginning, go back and you can listen to the playback and grab something here tonight. So I just want to give a shout out to Jim Hetherington. He's going to be coming to our Flashpoint Live event happening at the end of March. I'll try to pull that up here before we close out. And so Jim's going to be down here. You get a chance to meet him. Linda is coming as one of our sponsors, and you'll learn more about that event. So Linda, great, excited to have you here. Denise, as always, and we're working on something that maybe everybody can even take in your internal harmony there, which would be great. So Julie's one of the sponsors as well, and we're excited to have Julie there because we got a whole plan that we're going to do for the next event. And I know, and who knows, Julie might have some other ideas too, because she's got a lot of different offerings. Oh, and Denise and Julie, you need to connect.
Yes, we do.
You definitely need to connect. So Marlon is might be joining us with Zoom, but he's going to be remote sponsoring Flashpoint. He's been to almost all of them. I think 3 of them, right, Marlon? So he's watched this grow and go through its phases as we move forward. And Carrie's going to be attending Flashpoint as well, and she's been to how many? 2? Carrie?
I've been to 3 in person, and then I did 1 online, I think, or 1 online and 2 in person, something like that. I don't know.
Are you excited to come to the next one?
I am excited. I booked my room. I'm all set. Yeah.
You booked your room? You got the booking link for the room?
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's a great hotel. It's a great space. Yeah.
Oh, it's got a courtyard. It's really nice. So I'm excited to share it with everyone. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Let me see if I can pull this video up in a moment. But yeah, it's evolved into something that is beyond what I thought, and so it's going to continue to evolve and grow and be what it's supposed to be. So we'll have some newcomers there. We'll have some folks returning, but it's really an incredible space, and we have some other things we're planning. Let me see if I can pull this up, and then we'll bring back everybody to say goodbye for everybody. We'll give like a nice big send off. You know what we're gonna do? I think we should do a little breath exercise. I really do. Julie, you want to do it tonight? Just a quick one. I'll tell you. I'm gonna show the video. We got time. Why don't we just put a nightcap on this, because we talked about it. So let me just share this video, and then I'll bring you all back on to say goodnight. So let's get this video up. Here we go.
My name is Marilyn Morales. I'm here because I want to help people to heal. I want to heal. I want to be different. I want to be more productive. And I think anybody that comes here is going to find that same thing. They're breakthrough.
Okay, so that is the Flashpoint event. I'll put that QR code up as we say goodbye. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight, and I want to invite you back tomorrow when we cover the uncertainty and the challenges. So thank you so much, everyone. Julie, are you going to give us a little?
Sure.
Just put her on the spot. I hope that's okay.
No, it's all right. It's all good.
I did the first one, so I'm thinking let's live this. Let's make it real. So.
All right. So I invite everyone, wherever you're at, as long as you're not driving and listening to this, to just gently close your eyes and take a nice deep breath, and then take another nice deep breath. Feel on the in-breath, feel your belly expand, feel your rib cage expand, your back muscles stretch. And on the out-breath, feel everything collapse, everything release and relax. Connecting in with each part of your body, your hips and your legs, all the muscles along your spinal column. Feel all of the tension dissipate. Any unnecessary tension just dissipates. Feeling that tension just release. Feel your neck release. Your head floats easily and effortlessly, just floating right on top of your neck. The muscles of your forehead release, your eyes release, your jaw lets go. Feeling your arms and your hands, where they are in space. Feeling them, your shoulders drop down, releasing their tension. Your hips and your legs again release even more into that which they are sitting on. And now feeling what your feet are feeling. Bringing your awareness down to your feet. Feeling what your big toe is touching, your pinky toe, your heels. And now sending that awareness down deep into the earth, knowing the deeper you ground, the higher lift you can get. And the earth comes up gently, lovingly, enveloping each foot with care and grace and groundedness. And now bringing your awareness up to the crown of your head. And envisioning a golden white light coming down from source and attaching to your crown, knowing that this connection is always present. Sometimes we just have to remember. This golden white light comes down through that cord, down through your crown. This source energy comes down and bathes your entire body, all the way down to the cellular level, all the way down through your head and your neck, down through your arms and your hands, your torso, your hips, your legs, down through your feet. And now that you are connected between heaven and earth, you take a nice deep breath. And know that this connection is always, always, always present. And as you come back to this room, this space, know that we are always connected. Again, you just have to remember. Remember. Remember to remember. And as you take a nice deep breath, gently wiggle your fingers and your toes and allow your eyes to open.
What a great way to end. Thank you, Julie, for doing that. I trust people at home participated in that. And go relax. Have a great night's sleep. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. I am going to put the QR code up for those as I wind down. And we'll see you tomorrow night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And everyone.
Thanks. Good night.
A new road awaits you. What would your life reset look like? How would you go from feeling stuck, stagnating, lacking clarity? Maybe you feel like you simply plateaued and you know you need to make a change. What area most requires you to push that reset button? I want to invite you to journey with us over the next 5 days for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. Each day we're going to stream live at 7 p.m. and feature a new topic to help you cultivate that life reset. First, we're going to start with self-care on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to find out what's holding us back, what are the challenges, and dealing with uncertainty. Wednesday, day 3, is going to feature self-rediscovery. What does it mean to get to know yourself again? What's important to you? Day 4, we're going to help you cultivate creativity to get those creative juices flowing again. Day 5, and finally, we're going to help you cultivate a new decision and push that life reset button. Imagine what life could be if you simply take the plunge and join us for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge.
Welcome back, everyone. I don't have the QR code, but I will put the website up. It's austinhaynes.com. Everything's right there for the life reset. So it's austinhaynes.com. And we'll have the QR code tomorrow night for you. So austinhaynes.com. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Bye for now.